With without fail, every episode, Janina start laughing as if we're running a serious show here, Janina. Okay, okay.
Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
As Roger said, this isn't the circus. Okay, do we need the clowns to come in? Do we need to stand for the clowns? Stand in the clowns.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. I'm here.
Oh my God.
That's the name of the podcast. Send in the clowns.
Stand in the clowns. Okay, you know what? I didn't even remember what to call it, but here we have it. Send in the clown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RealzTenisFanz, their 10th episode. I can't believe we're at number 10. I didn't even think we would get past number 1, but apparently 15 people love us and they like it, so I'm doing it for the 15 folks, and these 3 lovely ladies devote their Sunday evening for me, you know, and I can't say no to these ladies. So let's go on with our wonderful co-host this week. As always, we have Janina.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I always have the crowd clap for you whenever you say your name. I'll say hello. So you say hello again.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, and we have Andreen as always.
Hello.
And she's not the newest edition, but our welcome edition. She's a 3rd episode, Karen Bridge-P from The Spin, Overhead Spin.
Hello, everybody.
She promises tonight she's not drinking, but it's okay, folks. We can drink. It's fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, folks, we're here at the 10th episode. Are we excited to be in our 10th episode?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are.
I mean,
10 is the number.
I'm telling you, I'm hoping that this will be a big, badass episode. I'm really hoping so.
And just to reiterate, it's 1 after 9.
Exactly.
And 1 before
before
11. And 1 before 11, folks. I mean, like, for me, we're on the 2nd row. We're going into the 3rd row, because in my mind, I count in increments of 5. So 1 to 5 is the 1st row. So 6 to 10 is the 2nd row. So we're heading to the 3rd row now. And this is so exciting. I don't even know what to say, because I didn't even think I would even get to 1. So I have to say thank you for Andreen we discussed this several ages ago about getting a podcast, and she forced me to do it, and here we are at episode number 10. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Well, this week we're only in Madrid basically, and I gotta say it was just madness, mayhem, and I don't even know what else to call it. I mean, like Murray. I guess that's what I try to call it. Madness, mayhem, and Murray in Madrid. Like, I mean, and before we go any further, I mean, I have to bow down and say, Andreen.
You did it!
Yeah.
I mean, like, last week, Andreen picked Murray, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, you picked Murray over Burditch? Like, I'm just like, if anyone was gonna go get it, it was gonna be Burditch. I mean, Burditch, you lost in 2012, and
I know.
To find out, the last time and only time Burditch has won a Masters was in 2005. Nearly 10 years ago.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Seriously?
Against Lubicic, I think it was. Lubicic in Paris.
Oh my God!
And those were that's when they were 5 setters, by the way.
Oh yes,
that counts
that's
for
true.
2.
Yeah, it really does. I'm glad we've revealed that bias, because I hope you all know that I don't count these Masters 3-setters in the same category as I count the 5-setters. Let's all be honest.
But I'm telling you, those 5-setters used to be epic, and people used to have to play real tennis. You could cheat for the first 2 sets, but
you could cheat. Oh Jesus!
I mean, when I say cheat, you could phone it in, but then when you hit that 3rd set, and you had to play some serious tennis. You just couldn't fuck around anymore. So it used to be really fun. But I guess, you know, the crowds and I don't know why, because the top guys are the one get into the final, and that back then they used to have a lot of different winners. One person wasn't dominating the Masters. You couldn't, because you played 5 sets in the final.
You were tired.
And you were tired. Next week you had to be back all over again. Like, you just couldn't. But now, 3-setters are just. I mean, when was the last time Monte Carlo last year was Sabrinka, and last year you had Tsonga who won one over Federer. So it gets pretty. It's not usually the same people all over again. Madrid was chaos, but look who got in the finals: Murray and Nadal. And before I go any further, let me just say congratulations to Murray.
Thank God.
You won your second clay court tournament in as many weeks, and therefore I'm going to graduate you to a half status. So there is no longer. It's the big 3.5. Okay, it's no longer the big 3 at Murray. It's the big 3.5, half being you, Murray. So you've made it up. You've moved on up, but you have made 2. I mean, like you've never even been in a clay court finals ever. And then in less than a week, you've been in 2, and you won
them.
And won them.
And you beat like serious not contenders, serious clay court players. Let me just say that.
Okay, let's just all just say the struggle is real. The struggle is real for Nadal. Okay, Murray.
Oh, yeah.
The struggle is real. I am now convinced that Nadal is struggling of some sort.
You would say that, I mean, I am going to.
I watched the final.
Okay, I watched it too.
Basic tennis. That was basic tennis.
I mean, yeah, it was some basic bullshit tennis. I mean, I was at some point I was just like, when Murray got out to 3. First of all, Murray broke first thing, and I was just like, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on here. I'm lost." Murray served, held up, and I was like, Nadal, do you know who you're playing against? Murray and Venus Williams throws over the same second serve. What the fuck is going on here? You can't.
Okay, hold on, guys. We have a special guest calling in.
Oh, wow. We do. Ooh, let's see.
Who could that be?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry it didn't work out. I was sitting here. I just don't know how to do that. It's too complicated for me.
It's okay.
But you want to? Yeah.
You're on.
Just set me up, and I'll talk as long as I can until I have to go.
Can you hear?
I hear you perfectly.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, she can hear me. Yes.
Perfect. Good.
Good. So let's go. There's someone at the door.
Our special guest tonight is CARI Champion.
Woo!
I mean, I cannot believe it. This cannot be real.
All right.
We're excited. I mean, we've never had a real person on here, really.
Well, let's keep it professional then. All right? Can we skip the?
Is this a real CARI champion? I mean, I guess that's what our fans would be like.
Let's be honest. Is this the real CARI champion?
It is, and I can, obviously I'm on speakerphone, so I am stressing to hear you, but it is. Like, I am so excited. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be on.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. We are struggling folks here, and any big time stars we can get, we're so excited to have them here.
Like a nice 5-star, but I'll help you find some big time stars. Thank you.
So, talk to us a little bit, first of all, about your podcast, which is lovely.
I'm excited about it. Everyone has a podcast, right? So we're going to where I moderate my role to debate, and I have a bunch of guys who have really big personalities, and oftentimes people have said, well, what do you think? And it depends on what it is. Sometimes I'm passionate about a topic, sometimes I'm not. I'm not passionate about everything in 2 hours of debate. And so they asked me if I wanted to do a podcast about how I felt, and I was like, sure. And it was right on time with the Floyd Mayweather fight and how I felt, along with a lot of other different topics I felt very passionate about. I'm a big believer in passion. That moves me. So I decided to create a podcast that would help me and help others tell their story. I haven't, it's very brand new, and I'm still finding my voice, but I'm excited because I hope that it gives me an opportunity to be honest with myself and be honest with the people who watch the show and folks who have followed my career, you know. So it's a journey, a marathon, and I'm excited about it. It was, in terms of sports podcast, it's fluctuated from the most downloaded within the last week to, you know, the top 5, top 10 sports podcast. It was,
That's awesome.
You know, top 50 on
wow.
and I'm just grateful. God is good. So I'm excited.
So let's make you be honest.
All right.
So I think my first question is a very odd question. Is Champion really your last name?
It's truly my last name. I get that question all the time. I would never ever go on TV with a fake last name. It is truly my last name. Everyone asks me that. And it was interesting because my first job in sports, strictly sports, was at the Tennis Channel. That's where most people met me in the sports world, which I loved. And they even asked me that when I was auditioning. They were like, "Did you just make up this name?" I'm like, "No, it's my name. I've been CARI Champion as a local journalist. That's been my name. It just so happens that I'm working for sports now. So, no, I would never make it up. Based out of the Midwest. Everybody in Chicago, Illinois, shout out.
Shout out. I mean, it's a very. I think it works really well for anything in broadcasting, basically. So I mean, I was always just like, it's just a made-up name, and just like, but you didn't strike me as someone who would probably make it up. So I'm happy to find out that you didn't make it up.
No, but there's a lot of made-up names in television. A lot of people that you watch on TV have made-up names, and you're like, wait, that's fake. Like Sage's name, like for instance, Sage Steele, that's her real name. You know, people are like, that's a fake name. She's like, no, it's really my name. So I get it. It's fine. I totally understand.
So you mentioned that you were on Tennis Channel. What was that experience like?
You know what? I love Tennis Channel. I miss it tremendously. I wish that Tennis Channel was probably my first experience with traveling the world, and it allowed me to go to the U.S. Open, the French Open, and you know, allowed me to have really good relationships with people in different countries and friends, and obviously people who I consider my family now. So everything about the Tennis Channel was amazing, but it was the Tennis Channel, right? So it was the start. It was a beginning because they are a startup, and they still are trying to make their way in the broadcasting business. And it's a singular sport network, so there are a lot of different regulations and stipulations that they have to abide by that I don't have to when I'm working at ESPN. So, but I miss it, and I'm grateful because they gave me a lot of wonderful opportunities that you just don't get when you walk into a different network. And I loved it, every moment of it. I kept in touch with everybody. I have dinner with people when they're ever in Bristol or rather ESPN, or if I'm at an event that they're covering, I still have the same relationships that I had when I was working there. And so that's what I know. That place is really solid. I wish them the best, and I want them to be successful and do everything that they want to do. And I've been trying to work out a relationship where I can work with them eventually. So hopefully that'll work in the future.
Ooh, so
Cool.
we got a little snippet there. You might have your foot back in the door. I love it. I miss seeing you on Tennis Channel.
But it could be 2 years from now. It may not be next year. It could be 2 years from now.
That's okay, because I miss you on Tennis Channel.
I love it. I love it.
Is Karen still alive? I just want to know, Karen.
I'm still alive, but I'm trying my hi, Carrie. It's a pleasure to talk with you. I always loved you, on Tennis Channel. I'm a bit more controversial than the other people who are on this podcast.
What?
And I'm trying my best not to get, controversial because we really appreciate you, coming on this podcast and speaking with us because, we're the new kids on the block, basically. But can I become a little bit controversial with you? And if I am, please feel free.
Sure. Sure. You want to ask me something you said controversial? Sure. Go ahead.
I'm from the Caribbean. I live in the Caribbean, and one of the problems I have with Tennis Channel, and I'm glad somebody brought it up, is the lack of diversity in the commentary booth. Is that something that bothers you as a journalist and a person of color?
Say that again. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
She wants to know if it bothers you that there's a lack of diversity in the booth at the Tennis Channel, especially for you being a person of color.
Of course. It's a lack of diversity in the sports world, period. There are no women. There are no African Americans. There are very few minorities. It's a problem, and it's a business that felt like they didn't need need people of color or diversity, and when they're finally challenged, they say, okay, I have to fill a need, I have to check the box. But that's the nature of what it is. I hope that it changes, but it bothers me. I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that every day I deal with the struggle of being a woman in an all-male business, or if I deal with the struggle of being an African-American woman in an all-male business, and that doesn't really understand us. People hire who they know and who they like and who they're comfortable with, and it's not necessarily always racist. I don't go there. That's not my default, but it's just the reality of the world that I live in when I work in broadcasting, and especially in tennis. So it doesn't bother me in the sense that I'm irritated by it. It bothers me in the sense that I just don't think people are aware of it. And there's a difference between being aware, not doing anything about it, and being aware and trying to change it. I think Tennis Channel is aware and they try to change it, but you have to realize it is a tough business when you try to hire someone to be on television and speak appropriately and represent your brand and feel comfortable with it. It's just different. Tennis is such a different sport. It's very particular, and everyone doesn't get it and understand it. And, look what Serena and Venus had to endure for so long. And so I'm aware of it, and I wish there was more, and I think we're working toward it. And I think there are people, especially at Tennis Channel, who are making a conscious effort to work behind the scenes to change it. And really, I mean, I'm serious. Like, I know the people behind the scenes who are hiring people, who are interviewing people, and I know that they want to be representative, but it is such a clique sport. It's such a sport where you have to know so many people and everyone's friends with everyone. It's very incestuous. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it just is. I mean, it was hard for me to break in.
How did you break in?
Yeah.
How did you break in?
How did you break in? Yeah.
I auditioned, and I was, I had been working in news at that time when I auditioned. I was working in news I had about 8 years under my belt. I was a local news anchor. I had worked in West Palm. I covered Serena and Venus when I was in West Palm. I covered Tiger Woods. I covered a bunch of folks. I had a lot of experience in front of the camera and behind the scenes, and quite frankly, I think they got it. When I auditioned, I was like, I get it. I may not be able to spell everyone's names correctly, because I'm not in Russia, but I definitely get what you want and what you're looking for. It was my beat to cover tennis. And I delved into tennis. I loved every moment of it. It changed me. I'm serious. I'm not being corny. It just changed who I was, how I saw the world. Once you travel the world and you go to other countries and you see how people live and how they experience things and how they develop and how they ingest and digest information, it changes who you are if you're open to it. It changes your perspective. And that's exactly what tennis did. I'm going to the French Open this year just to hang out. Like, I'm going with some girlfriends of mine. I'm taking Jamel Hill, who works with me at who works with me at ESPN. I've taken her to a few tournaments, and I'm just like, you have to enjoy it. It really, truly is a sport unto itself. It's different, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. But if you get it, you'll enjoy it. And
so can we join in? Can you bring us in?
I can't appreciate it the way you do. But it's my first one, and I'll never forget it.
Carrie, this is Andreen. I think you make a really good point about the idea that maybe not everyone is going to be comfortable representing the brand in a particular way, on air. Folks are used to just playing tennis. But I'm curious, like, if you could see Tennis Channel nurture maybe a couple of former tennis players or some folks who you think would work in that environment. If you could put together your sort of dream team for coverage at Tennis Channel, who would be a part of that? Who could we look to and say, they'd be good on Tennis Channel?
Who would be my dream team on Tennis Channel?
Yeah, in terms of if hey, think about mentoring these folks. Think about bringing these people on. Who would some of those people be for you?
On air, you're in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I like Steve. You guys are using Steve Weissman now. You guys, Tennis Channel is using Steve Weissman.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot. I used to work with him here at ESPN. He's really good. He's funny. He loves tennis. He gets it. He has a good personality. He's very self-deprecating. Prince Ripapat. I work with her, and she does tennis too. She does like direct TV. She's really great. Obviously, I would include myself in that. And Scott, by the way, played it too. So she was really, really good. And then I would like to see, in terms of just some on-air personalities that we know of that are pretty amazing, that are funny, and that would, to me, really be able to bring something exciting. I would love to see, and I don't think it'll ever happen, but I'd love to see John McEnroe work for Tennis John. I keep saying us because you guys see how much I love Tennis John. I keep saying it. I would love to see that happen. And in terms of, and I like Lindsay Davenport. I dig her. I think she gives you a very specific, she's very honest. She tells you like it is. I think she doesn't lie. In my opinion, a lot of people are so connected with players. And as of now, I know she's a lot of other people are connected with players, so they can't give you their honest
real
truth.
deal. Yeah.
And I love Courtney. You know, Courtney's just sweet. I love Courtney, and I love Ben.
Courtney would be great.
I would love to see Ben and Courtney be on air because they're quirky. And the problem with covering tennis nowadays, people don't make it fun, and they don't make it relatable, and they don't put up pop culture, and it's not a real podcast like you guys have. Like,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tennis would be exciting to more people. It just would. And I don't know that anybody who covers tennis or broadcasts tennis has figured that out yet. But because it's funny, there's gossip behind the scenes, there's nonsense that's happening, and everyone should cover it.
We're on the right track, folks. We're on the right track.
Thank you so much thank you for being very candid.
Carrie, I just want to say that you're taking your girlfriend to French Open. I can be a good Judy too, just so you know. And
for whatever reason, I can't hear the guy. I can hear the girl.
Oh, you see? No, that's kind of sexist, isn't it? That's kind of sexist.
Well, you may as well take her to the sexist place and ask her for her top 6.
And I am and it's my. You see, Janina, you keep.
Listen here, Carrie.
Yes, love.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Carrie.
Before we let you go.
Okay, yes, this is welcome. Let me have it.
We need to know your top 6 hottest men in tennis. Go.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'll just name a bunch that I think are hot. I think hot. Nobody that I think is even worth seeing. Hot. Pure aesthetic.
Yes.
I think I've had a crush on him forever. I think Feliciano is the hottest ever. Feliciano Lopez.
See, I'm telling you, too much sharing. Too much sharing.
Hot. I think he's very attractive. I think. Oh boy, now I'm stopped. I'm like, where am I at right now?
Stuck with Feliciano, that's real.
Oh yeah, who else do I think is? Oh, I think that Greg Lord is hot. I think like just aesthetics.
Aesthetics.
I mean, and I'd introduce my parents.
How do you feel about Burditch?
I'm forgetting somebody. Help me out.
How do you feel about Burditch?
I do think actually between you and I, he's such a butt. I can't really get into it, but yeah.
Listen, I guess.
What about Tsonga? Tsonga,
who?
Tsonga.
No. Not so much.
Nadal? Nadal?
Rafa. Who?
Rafa.
No.
Federer?
Oh my God!
Roger to me, I'm sorry, Roger's cute to me. He's adorably cute, and I know people are like, no, he's not. He's cute to me. Roger Federer is so cute to me.
I agree.
Got that money. He got that money.
Help me out, ladies and gents. I'm like, I'm like, whoa, hello.
Wait. You always have to include a lone American, just like the top 10. So you have to throw in an American in there.
No, you know, I have the biggest crush on Isner. Like, he's a really good
What? Carrie, what's going on? What is going on, Carrie?
Okay,
Girl,
so
you need a
here
glass
is my long-lost sister. Our list is very similar. You guys
Your list is similar.
My list. Back off.
It must be a Midwest thing.
What is that? Oh my
You
God.
Midwestern girls.
here like I'm in the midst of I gotta go back and watch the rest of the game. Like, you guys don't kill me. I gotta go back and watch it.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate
Tell us the name of your podcast again. What's the name of the podcast?
It's called Be Honest. Subscribe. It's Be Honest. I'll have you guys on when we want to talk tennis. You just call in. It'll be fine.
All right. Oh, wonderful.
Perfect.
We'll say whatever we want to say, and that's the beauty of this format. Thank you for having me. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my God.
All right, stop freaking out.
We had we had real people here. Now we can get.
We're real people. We're real people.
I meant, like real people who got money, who know someone, I mean, Janina, you know what? Janina, you got the connect here. I'm just saying. Look, we're all broke bitches. Let us not even try to pretend that we're somebody special. We're someone special to someone.
We are special. We don't need money. We don't need money for that.
Y'all are a trip. So,
we need money now to keep talking about
thank
tennis.
you so much, CARI, for joining us. That was very nice of you. We appreciate it.
Oh my God,
we will totally hold you to that guest spot on your show.
Yes.
Now, where were we?
We were back to Nadal.
I'm just gonna be saying this, CARI Champion. If you do get to listen to this podcast, please include me in your French Open trip and Je parle le français. Just saying, I'm a good Jew.
All right.
Divadal. So, you were saying that Divadal was a hot mess today, and you said that he's struggling. The struggle is real.
I'm prepared to be convinced that the struggle is real, and I would say that Murray has played Nadal better and lost. So I guess I can understand why his fans are all in a flutter. However, I still think that come Paris, they'll suddenly be a little bit more pop on that serve, a little bit more whip on that forehand, and all the struggles will seem like a long nightmare.
Well, I don't know. Call me, I don't know, I'm a loss for words now, but call me, a conspiracy theorist or whatever you want to call it, whatever. But I swear Divadal loves the struggle narrative.
Oh, he loves the struggle narrative.
He loves the narrative of, Divadal he's not going to get it, and, he's going to be here, and there's so many other favorites, and Divadal basically is seeded 7th. Which I don't even think would even happen because Rome is still to come. And it's not like the other 4 guys in front of him or 3 guys are like 3,000 points ahead of him. They're like, 50, 80, 200? Like, he can make that up in like a week. And
No, I mean, he has to win the title for any real movement, to be honest. So and Milos is injured, so there goes your number 4. It's all going to it's all going to work out fairly well, I'm sure.
I know. I think it is because Milos isn't showing up in Rome. And I suspect Kay might, try to, rest himself because there is no point in him winning Rome or even getting to the finals of Rome and then losing in the 3rd round of Paris. Like, no one remembers that shit. So I think he's going to conserve his energy for Paris and try to eke out that win like his mentor did. So I'm not. But I'm not totally convinced with Divadal. I mean, like, to me, I think Karen said it earlier when she said, like, how many of these titles does Divadal have? He doesn't need these things. He doesn't care. And I really think what he cares about, the only thing that has been his saving grace for a number of years has been the French. It's the one place he is solid, is assured that he can never die unless they're Robin Soderling. And he killed Robin Soderling the next year. Robin Soderling didn't in the finals of 2010. He didn't win one.
Here's the thing. I watched the match, and was Rafa at his best? No. However, I really think that Murray was the root of that. He saw Murray 2.0 and didn't know what the hell to do.
Well, Murray was serving. I have the stats in front of me. They both won 68% of their first serves, but the second serve, Divadal only won 46%, whereas Murray won 81% of his first serves.
Sure, but Murray was pulling off shots that we've not really seen from him on clay before.
He ran down every ball.
Well,
He moved well.
Was just like That threw Rafa off. You knew. I totally expected, like, probably 99.9% of the world, that other 0.1% being Andreen, who called Murray to win. But I totally expected Rafa to adjust, bounce back, and, you know, take that title, because that's what he does, especially on clay. But Murray showed him something he had never seen, and he didn't know what the hell to do. And I fucking loved it.
What was
usually the opponent participates with, right? Usually the opponent crumbles as well. But I have to say, usually the person says, you know what? Oh my God, I'm almost beating Rafa. What am I doing? Let me back up. But I really thought, there was a real relaxed air about the way Murray went into that match. Like,
he kicked ass. You know what? Was it that fucked up neck beard? I don't know.
But you know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking it is? And you know, this is me and my pawn.
Tell me.
Bring in a woman's reference everywhere I can possibly get. I think you know where we'll always have this thing where on the women's side, you know, you will have some, you know, player ranked number 30 taking out a top seed at an event. She plays with no fear.
Yeah.
Maybe. But on the men's side, you really don't have that, because they're still in this whole locker room thing. Well, he's the number 1 seed, and if I take him out, it's a really big deal, and yada yada yada. On the women's side, you don't really have that.
They don't have no corners. There are no Alizé corners.
maybe Murray just found maybe Murray had his cornet moment today.
Listen, I love it. I love it. I mean, I think far few of the guys do that. I mean, I think everybody wants their one Fed win because they know they're going to get in the history books. I beat Fed in 2000, blah 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 blah. But it's weird how people have always been hesitant about attacking Rafa when he's at his most vulnerable. You know, I would say, you know, people can sniff out when Federer is not playing well, and they all want that win. But 9 times out of 10, Rafa can still be subpar and eke out a match.
That's what I'm saying. Today, it was. Today it was just like he had 0 fucks to give. He didn't give a shit. That match.
I tell you, it was tiredness.
That much more.
I mean, almost every era that I saw. The ball, he was hitting the ball with the racket frame rather than with string.
Yeah, to me, it was just maybe it was
no, it wasn't 0 fucks to give. I really think, listen, I've seen this Rafa before. We all have. Do we not remember this Rafa made an appearance in 2009?
Madrid.
After this uncertain, hesitant, hitting balls out, hitting balls wide, Rafa. We saw him all through, post the French Open 2009. We saw this Rafa.
At that
point in time, no, he showed up at the French Open. At that point in time,
when he lost,
was a story. No, he was at the French Open, and then he was at Wimbledon, and he pulled out of Wimbledon. But then throughout the summer, he was hesitant. He was this guy, couldn't hit the ball for anything. And everybody's like, how could Rafa be so ordinary? Because that was the other part of what was interesting about the final, was listening to the commentators.
Oh, yes. Did I tell you? So, if you go back to the Melbourne, I swear to God, this was the craziest thing. Eurosport. The Burditch is on his way to give Divadal a bagel. And the commentators are like, he shouldn't give him the bagel. He shouldn't. He said it's almost crazy to beat him 6-love. Because you know you can't keep up that intensity in this next set. I was like, shut the fuck up. He got a set. It's a set under his belt, okay? That's one other set. He don't have to try to win again. He just has to win. I'm just like, what are you talking about? So he should
because Rafa's not supposed to lose. So when he does, they're just like, I mean, the commies are just like the rest of us, waiting for him to flip a switch and come back, because it's not supposed to happen.
Well, I don't think this.
But I didn't like it. I didn't like it. They weren't explaining why Murray was being effective, and that was really pissing me off.
Well, yeah, because they never want to give credit where credit's due.
Well, to me, I'm watching the match. I just thought that Murray ran down every ball, and he wasn't like I'm like I think a lot of players when Divadal is playing, it's just like he gets back a lot of ball. That's what he does.
Murray Rafa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Murray never gave up. He was just like, you know what? I'm going to try for every ball. Just get it over the net. I don't care how it looks. If it's hard, I'm just going to get it over the net. And at times, Divadal gave away some. I mean, there were some points. I was just like, are we playing tennis? What the hell? Like,
Let's all be honest. How come this Rafa never shows up for Federer?
that's what I'm saying. And you know what's crazy?
Where's this Rafa?
Wait.
Girl.
The crazy
It doesn't matter.
The
If
crazy
this
thing-
Rafa showed up for Federer, Federer would still fucking lose because it'd be on clay.
I'm telling you, this kind
No,
of.
he-
But you know what? This is like.
Oh, he would.
This is like.
This
Serena
Rafa
and
never
Murray.
shows up. Yeah.
It's like
They would try to
Serena
see
and
who could
Serena.
out-shank each other.
Murray had no backhand winners. 0.
I know.
Murray came to the net like 2 times. Like twice. And I'm just like, how do you beat Divadal from the back of the court on clay?
By waiting for him to shank a ball, because apparently that's what I saw. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not convinced by Murray's performance either. I mean, I think it was wonderful that he got. I was more convinced by Murray's performance against Kay than I was against his performance against Rafa. Because let's be honest, I thought Rafa sucked, and I feel bad that his fans had to watch that. I feel bad for the person that we know traveled there to see him. That was ugly tennis. But so I'm not prepared to put Murray in any kind of winning position in Rome or even in Paris.
No, but everybody knows what a confidence player Rafa is, and this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt him, and it's going to make him more vulnerable. I'm not writing him off by any means because he needed that. He needed that win. He needed it more than Murray.
Look, unless Fognini shows up in the early round for Divadal in Paris, I'm still look. The problem is that I can't see a scrub out there. I really can't. And I'm not even trying to be mean here. I can't see a scrub really going toe-to-toe with Divadal for the best of 5 sets. It's either Divadal is going to lose.
It has to be the young one.
Exactly.
It has to be the young boy. It's got to be like a Nick, a Chorich, one of the ones that want to make their name.
Exactly.
It's got to be one of those boys. Not any of the ones that's used to playing second fiddle.
No
Gotta
Paul
be one of the
Schreiber,
young
no
ones.
Clezan, none of those people.
You hear that, Ferrer?
No Isna, none of those people. It has to be a Nick. It has to be a Kokinakas. It has to be a Chorich who's gonna have 0 fucks to give. That they're gonna go down there and break an arm trying to win. They don't give it. They don't care if they lose. They don't even care if they're unable to play the next round. Their goal is to be, I beat Divadal on clay in Paris, and Djokovic couldn't do it. Federer couldn't do it. Ferrer couldn't
That's all
do
they
it.
want. They want that name.
Only Sutherland, and we're too young to remember who the fuck Sutherland is.
It's like Muguruza. You know what I mean? It's like Muguruza versus Serena. It's like you've got to have that person who's young and hungry for that breakthrough moment and knows that this is their time.
This is the time.
And so, it'll be interesting to see who he gets. If he gets his usual pigeons, then probably not. But if he gets some newbies, who's like, listen, I want my name in the history books. I may not ever win a title, but I'm gonna claim this one.
Let me tell you something, French Federation. I know y'all are dying for non-Divadal French Open. This is how you get it done. Do not put a single Spaniard in his water. None. No Almagro, no Vadasco, no. If you put one of those fucking Granoliers, get the fuck out of here. That would be a 6-love shit. And let me tell you, no Monaco. If you put one Monaco in that fucking shit, I'm telling you. One Monaco ass will be playing Federer in the first round, okay?
Hey, Realz.
Federer.
Realz.
Yeah.
Are you feeling a little angry right now?
I'm just saying, because I'm just not mad. Listen to me. If 2015 is gonna be the year where it's Divadal not gonna win French. And if the French are saying, you know, we don't care what the fuck he is, he could be number 29, number 17, we ain't changing shit. His ranking is his seed. He got to deal with this shit. They have to be really serious about this shit and don't fuck up this shit, okay? This cookie trying to be given to Maria.
How about you tell me how you really feel?
Look, I think we got it. I think we got it.
Went up on the Soviet.
That was his rant.
I'm just saying, okay? There cannot be a single Spaniard in that draw with Divadal name.
I agree. I do agree.
No. I don't care.
Watch Ferreira and him go to the semifinals.
Oh Lord, honey! Listen.
In the third round, gonna be a Fognini in the third round. Around the 16.
You know what though? I do have to say, I always remember Fognini fondly since 2011 at the French. I remember Fognini pulled out of the French, leaving Djokovic with no one to compete against.
Exactly. And everybody got mad. They were like, fucked up Djokovic. And then Federer beat him in the semifinals. No.
So it's going to be a Fognini miracle. Let's all call it right now. So we'll see.
Get your legs together. I don't know the fuck you need to take some kind of, I don't know what kind of medicine. No injury. No Sanga either. Sanga, you cannot be in that draw. Okay? You can't
all
be
right.
Wow.
So basically.
So, what else happened in Madrid?
Well,
Kay played a craptacular match.
Oh, wait. So we're going to pretend that Federer didn't lose in the second round?
Yeah, we're gonna gloss over that.
We're gonna gloss over that. We're gonna move on. He won the Golden Spoon. That's good enough for us.
No, I mean, in that match, I watched that match from beginning to end. I have to say that Nicholas played an amazing match. He kept his cool together. I didn't know where this man was against Richard Gasquet a couple of days ago, because that person could have won his first title on ATP, but apparently he was saving that shit for Federer.
Because he knew that beating Federer was more important to him than getting a title, apparently.
Right.
For Gasquet. And then losing in the next round.
Exactly.
But he played an amazing match, because in the first set, I thought that he was going to break down and he was arguing and he was cursing. I was just like, why are you losing your cool against Federer? Because Federer is just going to eat this shit up and then. But he responded really well, because Federer was up a set and a break. And he came back and won.
Are you going to remind us of his feelings?
I know. I mean, this is like, I don't know why we're going
through this. You won Istanbul. Isn't that enough?
These challenger plus tournaments.
That's all you get, buddy. Move on.
I said that was okay. But Andrew, you were talking about Kei Nishikori.
Kei Nishikori. Although I will say this, because I remember Kei Nishikori's what was it? His coach's interview. I did think, and I was reminded of this when I was watching the match, and I reminded of Karen, who always made the point that she thought that some people played Nadal too often. And I thought that, realistically, Kay did not want to meet Nadal in the final for some strange reason. That was my thinking, strategically placed. I don't want to meet you. Just like Djokovic decided he didn't want the opportunity of going to Madrid and having to have another knockdown, drag-out match against Nadal. So I don't know. I found Kay's performance puzzling. I thought he was MIA. So that's
the K I know. That's the K I in my mind, Kei Nishikori chooses when to respond. I think of, and this might be a bad analogy because it's like maybe it's cartoons and things, but I see Kei Nishikori like a Super Mario Brothers character. Like he just regular K, and then all of a sudden he gets a super mushroom, and then he plays unbelievable, and then he get that invincible star, and then he's just fucking unstoppable. But that is only temporary. It's only a temporary state. And to me, Kei Nishikori kind of goes up in hills and valleys. So there's sometimes he's just playing unbelievable, and then sometimes he just goes down just like, who is this person?
He's ordinary.
Yeah, he's just absolutely ordinary. And I don't know if it's Lindsay Davenport once said this thing. She said, that her coach and her worked out this way, that if you're not feeling your A game, you need to come up with a sort of a B game, a way to just get through the match, to get to the next round. And I don't know if this is strategic, because he is the smallest in the top 10, I think, one of the smallest. He and David Ferrer. And he's not as big and he's not as fit as the other players, so maybe he's managing his resources, a lot better than, because he can't play week in, week out like Djokovic, or even, well, not Federer so much so, or Nadal. He just can't. So maybe he is just biding his time, like, my real move is to vulture the French like Michael Chang, and that's not happening until 2 weeks' time. So,
well,
it was bad. It was bad. It was on par with the Australian Open. And
because he played a really. I mean, like, the person I saw playing David Ferrer was not the person who showed up against Murray.
It's like Simona. I feel like sometimes the two of them, for me, packs a similar punch. It's like sometimes you watch them and you say to yourself, how do they ever lose matches? And then you watch them again, and you're like, oh, I see. They're not there. Something goes away in them. I mean, their light isn't there that day. So it'll be curious to see.
They don't have that invincible style with them. They don't have that. They're just something, I think, that just.
We'll see.
It's a mental thing. Maybe they just can't be there in it forever. And on the men's side, I think, but I'm not talking about Federer's loss, but can we really consider Nick Kyrgios as being, along going up to be? Because I know a lot of people. There's 3 teenagers in the top 10 now, I think, or 3. I think Kokkinakis and these people, are they just stars because they look cute and they have a passion? And
I think Nick Kyrgios is
Nick has a big game. He has a great
Nick is a big deal.
Kind of swagger and back it up. And I think with the kind of attitude he has, nothing less than big titles and big stages will appease him. That's the kind of fellow he is. That's what comes out to me. He plays and he performs as if he genuinely believes that this is where he belongs and that and this is his stage, and nothing less. He's I think this is the new ATP. Yes.
When people talk about how it's a Djokovic era or whatever. No. Those are all oldies. This represents something new. There's a brashness and a freshness.
Yeah. Yes. Interface is
something fabulous.
When you say entitlement is
no, not at all entitled. Not at all. Because Tomic was entitled. That's different.
This is confidence. Confidence.
And he's good. He's very good.
I agree.
As much as I was pissed that he beat Federer, I was impressed with the way how he did it.
Yes.
A lot of young men, after missing so many match points, going up against on the line and serving big every single time, not backing down. That's what the ATP needs. That's what the WTA has. This is what the ATP needed. They needed fresh blood, young blood, pulsating, young men who come out on court.
I guess we know Nick Kyrgios is on Karen top 6 right about. He's pulsating.
He is. I actually prefer Kokkinakis. I really do. I think Kokkinakis has it as well. He's a fighter. He's going to fight to the last ball. He is never going to give up. And for somebody who doesn't really have that body type that you would think would stay in matches that long, his 5-set record is amazing.
Pretty good.
These guys, I love them.
Better than Islas, I'm just saying.
They are.
Well, I mean, and also, and it's like, listen, Nick has a great serve. With a great serve and with the right coaching, there is somebody who's going to be able to make this guy a real champ. And I think that they're doing it nice and steady, and I think he has the right attitude, and I think, you know what, I'm telling you, this is what the ATP needs to, when people say how could we get on the cover of magazines, it's these kids. These are the kids that people are gonna see and say, I want to play tennis. So we want these kids to thrive. We want Church to thrive. We want this guy to try. I mean, we just want these guys. I mean, I feel sad for the generation just before them, or the group just before them, because I feel like these kids are not gonna wait for the Grigors and for the others to kind of, take their place or do no. They're gonna bypass. They're gonna jump over.
There is no what I like about these young players is that there's reverence off the court, but on the court I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what
I love. That's what I love.
And I feel that when Grigor shows up against like someone like Federer, and Grigor don't get any fucking idea they're gonna beat Federer someplace important. Okay, just have a seat, boo. You can see that he's just like, oh my God, is my idol across the net.
But you know what? But maybe
I often find that it's almost like he's watching
something. What? Because there's no doubt about it that Roger Rashid hasn't done shit for him.
Well
so maybe it's time for Grigor to take a step back and look at what is coming behind. Look at it's unfortunate that Grigor is stuck in the golden ATP age right now. He is.
Well,
with the game that he had, if he had a better coach, because let's face it, Roger Rashid is a crappy coach.
I mean, he's good at fitness. That's what he is. And I think Grigor should have been like, I can now last long.
Well, funny in that during the match with Divadal, Grigor broke Divadal and was shouting up to his box, nothing is working.
What to do. I know. How do you get from I'm up a break to nothing is working?
Because that's what Rafa usually does to people.
But you know what? But you know what?
Rafa on errors, on Rafa's errors.
But that's the point. So it's the same thing with Murray. Murray got those games on Rafa's era, but the point was Murray stayed engaged and Grigor should have annihilated Rafa. You've got Rafa stumbling around the court, can barely get his balls to hit inside the box, and you are panicking inside. It's about him. It's about Grigor panicking.
It was a total difference in maturity level. Yeah. Andy's been around. He's like, and we waited for it. We waited for Andy to crumble because I think that no matter who is on the other side of the net, if they're playing Rafa on clay and they're winning, they probably do think, holy shit, I'm about to beat Rafa. They do think that, but Grigor isn't there yet. He can't handle that pressure yet. He will, hopefully. Someday.
You know what I do? I think Rafa is not playing that well. This is my shot. Why do I have to? You know what I mean? Why would I say?
To think. If you allow yourself, though, even 1 second to get caught up in the moment of what it means if you actually do complete it, you're done.
Well, there is someone. I think Karen, you mentioned something earlier, and I'm gonna add to that something. Monday morning quarterback. Martina mentioned with Chrissy, with her quote-unquote, her rivalry with Chris Everett. I think you mentioned earlier about the locker room mentality, that they're constantly in this locker room that, if I were to beat him, what would happen? And he's so good. He's the number one player, number two. I think they're too much buddy-buddy system, and the young guy, Turridge, when I say buddy-buddy, I mean that when I mention this reverence to these players, that they hang out and it's just like they want to be part of the clique and, part of the establishment. But
that's not true.
That's not true.
It's not true. No, I think what happens is men respond. It's like I've always said, men respond to pecking order much more than women do. So men respond to the top dog in the room. They always do. And Rafa's always been the top dog. So even when he's not doing well, they can't even key in well enough to say, hey, this is my shot. Women, if there's somebody who's number one, what's the first thing a woman thinks? I want to go get that shit. I want to go get it. You know what I mean? I want to be number one. Women, you know what I mean? It's like, I think that the pecking order, I think men just really respond nicely to, I'm going to stay in my place. I'm gonna do what's needed. That's just how I feel like guys respond, and I think that that's why I feel like there's such a wildness on the WTA tour, because they're like, I'm still gonna try to drag you tomorrow, okay? I know you're number one, but I'm gonna drag you. Meanwhile, Rafa comes out and he's hitting balls out. But Grigor is like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with it.
Right? And that's exactly what happened.
You know what I mean? If Serena comes out and is hitting balls out, you know what the young girl looks around and goes, this is my moment. This is my moment.
I'm about to get that shit. I mean, hey.
It's called Petra beating her ass.
Petra. Let's talk about it. Seriously,
Petra. That's Petra.
I mean, she's good. Let's not even say that she's not a scrub by any means.
No, she's not
but
a witch.
Nobody expected her to come out and hand Serena her ass on a golden platter like she did.
Well, you know, it's funny because when the matchup came, I said, "Oh my God!" I said, like, can you imagine the winner-to-error ratio tomorrow? It's gonna be a hot mess. It's gonna be like 75 errors in the first set between the two of them, something like that, something crazy. But Serena, I don't even know that second serve was out of some. Petra was on it like white and rice.
I thought that
the thing about the Petra win was the fact that she never called her coach down courtside
at all, never once, and that was I found was impressive.
That was impressive.
Because a lot of times the girls would win the first set and call the coach. And I'm just like, what for? What you're doing is working. And you're just... But I think that Petra is acting like an older, mature woman. Like she's been...
For now.
It's Madrid.
Girl, listen to me. I am not getting on any bus with Petra Kvitova.
No, never do. No,
I'm never getting on a bus with that girl. I don't care how many Wimbledon titles she wins.
You know what? Don't get on a bus with her because you know what's going on with Petra. Petra cannot do the week in, week out grind.
She cannot.
And that's why. And she went on a break. When you go on a break, you come back refreshed and in love with tennis again. And you are seeing the ball like it is as big old cotton candy. You're like, I'm just happy to be here. That's what you saw with Petra. Let me check Petra in the summer after she's been grinding it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also
she
part
won't
of it.
be able to breathe and
time is time. The mood goes.
She dropped some weight though. She looks better. She looks more fit. She still needs more fit. No, she's definitely she's thinner.
She did lose weight. Yeah.
She's lost some weight. She still doesn't wear a good sports bra. Somebody needs to. Anybody that's listening to this that has access to Petra, get that woman a bra, please.
They need to be on her chest, not on her belly. Not on her belly.
I don't understand what it is. Anyways.
You know what though? I actually wondered. This is something I didn't get a chance to see the Serena match. I did see the Serena versus Vickie match, and for me, I thought that was the match that Serena was most concerned about, and possibly just took too much of her energy, both mental and physical. What do you all think?
I watched
because there was a pigeon that was there in the next round. So
I think there was more.
I agree with Andrine. It was the first time since the split that she was actually going to be facing Sascha. And
that was not about Vickie.
This wasn't about Vickie. This was about
Sascha.
This is about Sascha. And
absolutely. She had to beat Sascha.
And because Sascha knows everything there is to know about Serena. Her game, her life, everything. And yes, Vickie had given her trouble in the past, but it wasn't anything that she couldn't handle.
Yeah.
And for her to face Sascha on what is arguably her worst surface against a player who is coming back and who is looking to prove herself, this was a mental match.
Yes.
And to come back after facing 3 match points and win that match, I think she had said to Sascha, see, I can do this without you. I don't need you.
And then he sent that really shitty tweet out.
Oh my God. What were you thinking?
He's childish. Provide
the context. What was the tweet?
The tweet said, and I quote, I think I Had it
Yeah,
right.
you sent
Congratulations at Serena Williams. Still a lot of time until the French, and we are on the right track. Team Vika. I guess he meant to write punish next time. I mean hashtag Team Vika, but he write hashtag pinish next time. So,
which is essentially short for pinhead. I mean, I don't know.
We'll chalk it up to an accent, right?
Right.
Or chalk it up to being an idiot.
Full spelling. You know, like if you're gonna try to shade someone, and oddly enough, he brought back.
Spell it right, baby. Spell it right.
He has Serena's picture when in 2009, I think it was when she won 2008. He reached down for 2012, one of the U.S. Open she won. She's so many now. He had that picture back up because in January when I suspected that they split, he had taken it down. And I think subsequently he referred to, in a tweet earlier this year, he said, blame it on the guy with the black hat, and I guess he's referring to Patrick Mouratoglou, I guess. And to me, just like, why the fuck are you airing your dirty laundry out in public like this? Why?
Well, I've always thought Sascha was basic. I never understood the craze. So somebody who was basically coattail riding was my assumption. But I didn't want to be mean.
I mean, and to me, just like, I think you said it at one point. You said, since when a hidden partner become the shit? Like, motherfucker.
I was like, you a hitting partner.
You are not even in the front seat. Exactly. Play a position.
Background.
You are the background. You're the guest of a guest. Okay. What the fuck is that? Like, I don't understand why he's trying to get featured so high, and it's just like, this is why I always think Sascha is team gay. This is why Serena always laugh and say, like, me go out with Sascha. He's like a brother. What you really mean? It's just like, I don't get it. It's just like, Sascha, this isn't your place. And this is why I can't support Vickie anymore, because, again, she's running into this press, messy, media blitz bullshit. Vickie, girl, concentrate on your tennis. Tell your team to take a back seat. I don't hear Wim say shit. And he's the one who's trying to get your ass in shape. He ain't saying shit. Sam never said shit. I don't know why you have Sascha saying shit now.
Well,
and
you
Sascha,
know what? I mean, it's okay.
You don't have to worry about Serena because Flavia Pennetta took out Victoria Azarenka ass. So I don't know what your deal is. This is the thing. You see, the women always concentrate on one person. You gotta concentrate on the other.
Wait. What happened? Vickie lost already?
No, Vickie lost in Miami to Flavia.
Oh, I thought something happened in Rome already.
He's trying to act like it's all of a sudden Venus and Serena and Vickie are gonna be playing the finals. I'm just like,
well, I mean, at least not on clay. However, I will say, for all the other basic ridiculous stuff around the match, I was quite surprised to see Vickie
first serve in the first set.
I mean, do so well. I mean, I thought her journey was going to take a little longer. She was definitely playing better than I had expected. Her serving was better than it had been in a long time. It didn't hold up in the key moments, but and I was waiting for it to fall apart, and but you know what? That was purely mental. I mean, the three double faults. I mean, come on, that was like hell. I mean,
yeah, and she served literally. I mean, like she had like 90-something% first serve in and winning these points. Like she was dropping like a point out too.
So I mean, that was surprising. I was surprised that her serve was. But I mean, you know what? It's all. I don't know. Madrid is such a funky little tournament. It's hard to really ever sort of judge where people are going to go,
I
right?
mean, fuck, the men's trophy looks like a dildo. Can you really take it seriously?
So does the women's.
The women's trophy looks like, I think I need to sit on this shit.
Oh my god. It's so bad.
I mean, as a man, I mean, like, honestly, if I won that trophy, I'd be like, I'm not picking this up. I'm sorry, people. Like, why not? I think
that's what Andy's face was. I always remember.
He's like, I beat Rafa and I got this.
I got a dick in my hand, and it's the fucking Queen of Spain. Next to me, and I got a dick in my hand. I gotta talk to people. Get the fuck out of here! What the fuck? Are you people? Who made this? Someone on Siesta? This is some bullshit.
That's bad. That thing is
a fucking dildo with spikes.
I like the idea that the Queen of Spain gave Andy
exactly. He gave her giving Andy the side eye.
hilarious.
She's giving Andy the side eye like, bitch, you took my man's trophy. No. It's a dick woman. Ain't about somebody's cat.
Basically, you've got a penis trophy. You've got women wearing Victoria's Secret outfits as ball
Oh
girls.
my God! Why do they all look like little? I don't know. Whores.
That's a mess. I don't understand how the WTA is allowing that shit to go on. Like, why the WTA showing up for this shit?
And they treat the women like crap in the schedule.
Can't seem to get the women better scheduling for their matches.
Oh, I know. They're just grateful to be there.
Did y'all notice that
all the marquee matches? I mean, poor Sharapova every single day.
11 o'clock in the morning, honey. Roll out of bed.
11 o'clock in the morning. She's the defending champion.
They don't give a shit.
What did she have a Sharapova booth there or something?
No. Listen, the Spaniards. I mean, I hate to say it, Madrid could care less. I mean, even in the stands,
empty.
Even in the stands, it was like, are women playing or not? What's going on? Why? I mean, when you compare it to Rome, that's coming up. You know, it's just a real. I don't think it's about the tennis.
The best part about Madrid for me is that the Arancha Sanchez Vicario Stadium, only one women's match a day. One. Early in the morning, get the fuck out, put the men on. You women need to go in the back corner.
The women were like teasers.
Every single day. You know, you look at the schedule, you see poor Murray, 11 o'clock, Serena right afterwards, and then a whole host. If they could throw those two women out onto a non-televised court, they probably would.
As a matter of fact, I think they want to play them on both sides, have both matches on the same.
Oh, by the way, there's a match on the boat. Tickets are free.
I think they wanted You know what? They wanted the women.
I don't get BT sports commentary, but from my
I got it.
It seems like Martina or MMQ. MMQ.
Oh, Martina, she's got a name. I love it.
She basically said, I understand that she said.
I was there. Yeah, I was there.
She doesn't think these combined events do the women any good. The women should have their own events. And I'm in complete agreement with her. I've always said it, that the combined events do the women a disservice. They do nothing to elevate the women's game. Absolutely nothing. They get court assignments. The cameramen take more pleasure in panning to the empty stands than they do on what is happening on court. You know, it's horrible. You know, and it's only certain tournaments that do that because, as Andrine said, this week in Rome, you only need to look to see what happens when the women get to Rome. They have more people attending the women's matches than they do the men's, and I don't know whether it's because you have so many Italian women who have done incredibly well in tennis, and you don't really have a lot of men. You know, apart from Fognini and who's
I didn't know what to expect with that one.
You know,
but you know, it is really interesting. It is interesting because, see, then again, right now it's like slightly contradictory, because it's the right combined event, right? It's the right combined event that generates interest in the women's game. I think, and then maybe the feedback comes from the leadership all the way down. Maybe somehow or another it doesn't translate that well in Madrid. I mean, let's not forget, wasn't it a couple years ago that the Spanish Fed Cup team?
I was just about to say that.
So, I mean, I think maybe it's just the environment there. Maybe there's a slight sort of sexist, I mean, well, we all know there've been some sexist controversy. I don't want to make major statements about an entire country, but maybe there's a kind of an approach to women's tennis in that neck of the woods that is just very different, which is odd and ironic, because you would almost assume the same thing in Rome, but it's not that way at all. I mean, it's a different ballgame entirely. So it's maybe the right combined event the right place. Not all.
I think it's because one of the reasons why the fans in Italy show so much regard for the women is because the women have brought home so many national trophies to that country.
Maybe.
And have accomplished so much.
They're very big on Fed Cup.
You had, and their support for Fed Cup, it goes beyond belief. It's second only to how the Czechs support the women in Fed Cup. You know, in Madrid, in Spain, it's a completely different ballgame, and I'm sure if you ever put a combined event in Romania, you can't imagine how sold out it would be. So I guess it correlates. You know, fan support goes well with, you know, with the accomplishments, but then you wonder then what the hell is happening in the U.S.
I mean, but the U.S.
Well, maybe you need some. Maybe you need lighter complected people to be doing well in the U.S. I don't know.
I'm just thinking
controversial podcast.
I'm just thinking you need a Becky.
Nobody else will.
Listen, Black Lives Matter in sport too. Black Lives Matter in sport too.
Amen.
All I'm going to say. And so I'm going to drop that like a hot plate and run away.
Okay, so what do we think about Kuznetsova?
Oh, Kuzi-Rex. I'm just thinking Kuzi-Rex showed up just for she needed some money, and you know.
You know what? It's Clay. It's her favorite time of the year. Wow. Yeah. It's springtime. You know, she's had really good memories on the clay. She's had really good results on the clay. She's feeling healthy. She is. Why not? Her country's in Fed Cup final.
Yeah. Well, that's good news.
She's going to the Olympics. Why should she not be playing well?
And you know what? She has withdrawn from Rome, which bodes well for her in Paris, because that means that means that she has taken this seriously. She believes she's playing well enough to possibly go the distance in Paris, and that's good for her, because that's usually, you know, when someone doesn't withdraw, you're like, oh Lord, girl, you just ripped your leg apart last week. Why are you still playing? Mm-hmm. But you know that's good news to me, you know, because she likes the upsets. Give her one upset or two.
I remember last week Sunday, I told you Kuznetsova grabbed Makarova's leg,
you did.
Like it was nobody's business, and she gave 0 fucks this week. She grabbed down to Masa, and Masa was looking at her like, bitch, you don't respect. You're not that Russian. You're Russian. But I noticed Russians have been giving Masa trouble all year long. Usually, she has those girls under command. She just needs to show up, and they're folding like a cheap tent. They just break it down.
Those girls are jealous. They all want Grigor.
I think that you know what?
Kuznetsova does not want Grigor.
But you know what? I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say that. I am not even gonna say that, because you know what? I'm gonna say this in your defense. I think you know what the real deal is with Grigor, and he has no interest. He doesn't hold any interest for you. So you went out there. And actually, the head-to-head isn't that bad either. It wasn't like, I think it was 6-4 going into this match, actually. And I don't think Masa thought that she could have screamed and shout and grunt off of you that cold, but you held on to that baseline and you made her run for her money. She was.
I love when Kuznetsova is playing well. It makes me feel nostalgic, and you know, I remember her name was one of the first that I could pronounce when I was trying to learn names. Like hers was one of the first that I could, you know, that I worked on. And I don't know, I like her. I appreciate what she brings to the game. You kind of never know what you're going to get with her. And even when it's really bad sometimes, it's still enjoyable, if that makes sense. And I just
change those fucking clothes. Those shitty clothes are just
well, you know, who cares?
But she's hilarious. I mean,
she's great.
Hilarious, and I think the WTA should put people like her out in front, because Kuzi-Rex looked like the kind of girl to drink a shot with you. She would be like, I'm buying you a shot. I mean, granted, she's Russian and all of that. I mean, like, but I think, you know, these are the people that I think WTA should sort of put if they want to get more people.
They should have fun. They should have fun. They should pull out all the fun ones.
Well, and you know what? She told the press, quit doubting me. I don't doubt myself. quit trying to push me out, basically, because only I get to choose.
Kuzi, nobody was doubting you, okay? We saw the paper, we saw the results, we saw the matches, okay, Kuzi? You were losing shitty matches. You were injured at one point, okay?
She said she would never be her own fan, so she understands.
Okay? No one was doubting you, Kuzi. We showed up, you just weren't present, okay? You weren't present for a lot of matches. Because last year, you thought you were going to do something. You didn't have Serena in your way, and you did shit. You lost to, I forgot who you lost to, by the way. You didn't do shit. So don't get mad at the press, you know. I'm just saying. And well, I think one of the biggest news on I think we've already said the big news on the women's side, at least I thought was interesting, is that Arantxa Sanchez Vicario is no longer, the relationship is on, as the press secretary said, the working together is on pause. And actually, we're going to play a game of what they really meant to say, okay? What the press corps said. The working together is on pause. They worked together in the spring for a couple of weeks, but Sanchez has backed out of the agreement because she couldn't get traveling to tournament and her family life to fit together. Despite the pause, they're still in constant contact with each other. When this season is over, the agreement is that they will sit down and work out a plan. The hope is that there is more permanent working relationship will start from the beginning of next year. In the coming months, there won't be any changes in team Caroline has around her. The plan is that Pietro will continue to coach her, but even if the agreement with Sanchez Vicario had been permanent, that would still have been the arrangement. Vicario and Pietro would have continued as a team.
Okay, you want to know what it really meant? Girl, get ready. It meant, girl, get rid of your daddy, because can't nobody help you when he's around. Let him go. If you can cut the cord, I'm willing to come and help you. Until then, we could talk on the phone occasionally.
I thought that line meant that they're gonna tweet each other. To me, as soon as I saw, despite the pause, they're still in constant contact with each other. That's Twitter. They're gonna be tweeting each other. Karen, you're the WTA expert here.
You know, when I got up there yesterday morning and I saw the news, I wrote, so Sanchez Vicario is no longer. I wake up this morning to hear coaching news about Caroline Wozniacki. Hashtag what else is new?
Wait, is Caroline Wozniacki? Wait.
Before I try to figure out what exactly they meant to say, can I just say this to Caroline? Caroline, stop wasting people's time.
I know.
It's a waste of time. It's disrespectful. You know, it's unprofessional. I'm sorry. It is extremely unprofessional. How many coaches has this been now?
You go in and let go, Karen. You go in and let go.
No, how many coaches has this been? It is unprofessional, and it's like it's just the worst thing ever, and it makes me dislike her. How can you be playing with people like this? You take somebody, you work with them for a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes 24 hours. It's like a cycle.
You know what? Wait.
You get to sue her for breach of contract?
Oh my God!
I'm thinking
she's careful not to shine it. She's careful not to sign anything. But you know, how is this different than the Anna dance? Why is this the same? Is this the same as the Anna dance? How is this one?
That I wanted to talk about tonight. This Anna Ivanovic and her coaching changes. I don't want anybody to be too personal, but then I want you to be very hard with me. But when you need to figure out what my game is, I know what my game is. Come on.
I tell you
Maybe
what,
she's bipolar.
You think?
Oh my God.
Look. As soon as I saw this Caroline Wozniacki, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, I was like, in what universe is it? Because I know I've been seeing in Stuttgart, in Madrid, every single time, and particularly in Madrid, I'm just like, did I mistake something? Sanchez Vicario gained weight, cut off her hair, and turned gray? Because his Pietro kept showing up on the court. We're playing on clay, and Daddy's still coming down to have a talk. Why?
She was actually playing really good clay court tennis. She was playing clay court tennis in Stuttgart. In Madrid, she was playing nowhere near how she was playing in Stuttgart. Her forehand actually had. I had to go back when I heard the news that she was going to be, that Sanchez Vicari was going to be working with her. I went on YouTube to look at how Sanchez Vicari played, because she was before my time, before I got into tennis. And I saw why they call her the Bumblebee, because she was all over the court. All over the court. And she tracked down everything, but just the way how she played the balls with lots of spin. She used the angles of the court. She was athletic, and she used that athleticism to really control the pace of play. And that's what Caroline did in Stuttgart. She really played clay court tennis. In Madrid, she went back to how she used to play, which is why she only had one win in 2 years on clay, because she doesn't know how to play on a clay court, which is the reason why Sharapova lost as well. But
the father, I'll tell you what Pietro does. Pietro brings in an expert, takes a whole bunch of notes, and say goodbye.
That's what it is.
He takes a whole bunch of notes. And it's crazy, because I thought that Sanchez Vicari would have been a wonderful fit, because there is Sanchez Vicari comes from an extremely legendary tennis family.
Yes.
And I thought there was a wealth of information and knowledge and access to people that she could have there that would work really well for her. But somehow, I think Pietro Wozniak think he's Richard Williams. I think he fashions himself as Richard Williams. And that he thinks that, that he doesn't need anyone. But I'm just like, lightning doesn't strike twice. Rarely does it, Pietro. And you got to watch what you have. Okay, Wozniacki doesn't have the same natural talents as the Williams sister. You need help. You need to go away. You need to get out of the picture. Maria Sharapova got rid of her father.
Stay where he is. He's quite happy.
I think it's different. It's interesting, because remember that that piece that was done on Caroline Wozniacki? Was it done by the Wall Street Journal, I think, during the U.S. Open last year? And essentially the whole point of it, to be honest, was that she likes a kind of informality and a casualness around her, especially the way she deals with her sponsor. She's just so, whimsical and magical and beautiful, and she'd like to be paid in chocolates and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I think that, I think there's a real, I think there's a real reluctance on some level to kind of graduate into being an adult in a certain way, right? Into sort of taking responsibility for her own relationships with the coaches that she brings on, and kind of navigating that water without the safety net of her father. So, but it's different. It's not so much about cutting the cord. What's that? Why was there a song in the middle of that?
Because that's how we roll.
You roll with a cord. But it was weird. I do think there's a very specific reason why Carolyn likes to have her father around, and it's not necessarily always the same old, oh, I want to be daddy's little girl. I think that there's a kind of informality that she maybe appreciates having in the people that coach her, and maybe bringing someone exclusive on board without her father.
Stay slamless. You will stay slamless. Just saying.
Oh, slams. Yeah. I don't think she cares about slams. No, I think she wants to be.
Care about slams?
Not in that way. I haven't been convinced that Caro's wanted a slam in years, to be honest. I feel like she's happy to be there. She wants to be in the top 5. She wants to keep being on TV. She wants to keep traveling the world. She wants to keep having a good time with her tennis. I don't get that
until she gets married.
Possibly.
Until she gets married.
Then
once that girl gets a ring on her finger, that's it. Tennis is done.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I won't miss you. I won't miss her. I definitely won't.
She has her own approach. Let's say that. Let's say she wants to keep it friendly and nice.
And I do think it's kind of with Karen. I do think it's wasting. But you know what? The other coaches, they're not being forced. And if I'm going to be working with Caroline Wozniacki, if she shows up and asks me, I am going to be absolutely 100% honest and be like, bitch, you asked me to be a coach, you gotta pay me a year, whether you keep me for a week.
That's a good idea.
This is what I think happened with Ivanovic and Nigel Sears.
Oh, yeah.
I remember she was changing coaches on a regular basis, and then when Nigel Sears left the LTA to come on with her coach, I read that contract must have been ironclad.
I'm sure. He's like, I can't be leaving a regular job.
Yeah,
you know what? The worst 2 years of her life, because she went down to like a...
After his sell-by date.
Yeah,
he still talks about but I think to me in his commentary he's another Monday morning quarterback.
Oh God, yes.
But the thing about it is just like,
well, maybe they all need to unleash the beast.
Oh my God! Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that for a minute?
Go right ahead.
Molten Levy, I know you're gonna listen to this podcast because we have this fabulous CARI champion on. Girlfriend, under any circumstances, unleash.
Tell a black person to unleash any kind of beast.
I'm telling you, it's equivalent to putting a black person and a monkey in the same sentence. It just doesn't work. You can't.
Unleash the beast.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Wait. Oh, you don't know? You didn't see it? You didn't see it?
No,
you didn't see the.
I am so.
Girl, you need to go on. You need to
Karen, there was a teller. Karen. There was. Sloan had a coaching moment. And her coach.
Serena, by the way.
And her coach told her, what did she say? There's a fighter inside of you. Something like that.
You're waiting to come out. You need to fist bump. You need to show her. Unleash that inner beast.
Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord.
Well, another game.
No.
Well,
Sloan was like, my beast. Sloan was like, I'm putting my beast to sleep because I ain't don't want to deal with this. I don't know what you're talking about. Well,
who is her coach?
Megan Moulton Levy.
But
is it her full-time coach now, or is it just like a guest coach or something?
I think she was a guest coach. I don't know what she was doing.
Funny enough, some time ago, I think it was when Maria was with Thomas Hogsted or something like that. She was playing Serena, and he came down and literally said, "Go beat that bitch!" Like literally.
No, it was Michael Joyce.
Michael Joyce. Sorry. Yeah, I knew that for a minute.
What? Sharapova. You can beat this book, and then he caught himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know how that always works
we know how that ended up.
And we were all like, what? But I think it's funny that...
What do you think that was, though? What was the point of that? What are you supposed to do with advice like that?
I think what they feel like, and we've been saying this about Sloan for a while, we've been saying that, she needs to be a little bit more engaged on court. She seems like she's holding something in. But I don't know whether she needs to fist bump or she just needs not have this vacuous look on her face as if she has absolutely no idea what she's doing out there. Because that's the sense I get. I don't think it's a sense that...
But you know what? We don't know what goes on behind closed doors, so to speak. Maybe that's something that they've talked about in practice. Maybe maybe it's taken out of context. I don't know. Maybe that's something Sloan says about herself. Who knows?
You mean like Sloan has like a Sascha? She has her own Sascha inside that she wants to bring out, like a Sascha nurse.
Right.
And she's like, that's the code word.
Yeah. Unleash the beast. Oh my God! You guys are
what?
Okay.
I don't know. I think tennis is
Oh dear Lord.
We're a hot mess.
I don't know if these people.
We're unleashing our beasts, our respective beasts. Are being unleashed right now.
When I saw that, I was just like, God, can't we just stop using black people and we're either food or we're animals. We're just never people. We're just never ever people. We're food or we're animals.
What's funny is that she got bageled.
Oh, and then
that
Serena
was
said
sad.
later on after Serena was saying some shit like, I never bageled her before.
That was
really hard to do. It's really hard to do.
That's one of those moments where you want the player to go into the presser and be like, yeah, this shit was easy.
you know, she was just like,
or just say, I unleashed my beast.
Right.
No.
Aww.
You know, she wanted to say,
It's like Garcia's father who comes down and tells his daughter, Sharapova is the past, you're the future. Seriously?
Ooh, Lord.
Seriously?
That's right up there with the king is dead language, I say.
Where?
Oh my goodness.
That is right up there.
It's funny that after Caroline Garcia played Maria and she lost, someone wrote on Twitter, you know, there is no doubt in my mind that she's going to be a future number one. And I was just like, she can't even get into the top 20.
I think she has potential.
She has potential. But she, you know, that $100 will get you on the subway, I hear.
Well,
so
that $100 will get you the Tomich train. Woo! And I like Tomich. But
that's exactly like, look, you cannot make it onto tennis is a very hard sport to play, and I don't think you're gonna make it. You're not gonna make it on the tour unless you're decent, unless you're talented, right? And there have been so many times I've seen Caroline Garcia played Maria Sharapova and was in a position to win. As a matter of fact, Caroline Garcia served first in the third set. She was up. The pressure was on Maria to hold serve to stay in the match. Caroline Garcia all of a sudden decided to do God knows what and just give Maria herself. I'm just like, you know what?
Not put a return in play for the majority of the third set.
So she McHale'd it. Is that what she McHale'd
it? It was, where was Caroline?
Oh my
Caroline, like, I'm hearing I don't know what was going on. She was a mess, and I was just like, I don't see it. And I've been seeing her for years, and she's doing this nonsense. And I would love to say that there are a lot of girls, there are a lot of women on tour that I think have potential and can do better, but the pattern has shown me that they typically don't. Christina McHale is one of those people. Just like, she's down. I mean, Venus is still the number 2 American. I don't understand it. She's old. She got Sjogren's syndrome. She's still the number 2 American woman.
Bless her. Bless her. Bless her.
Crazy.
oh man.
And you know how much I love Venus. Venus and Serena are in their 30s and the number 1 and number 2 player. And Venus is 16. Venus is at the 16. Not even Madison Keys. It's up there.
Hercules. That's what it is, honey.
That's just
it's
crazy.
Called black magic, baby. Black magic. That's what it is.
I'm just like, these girls are just like, these girls, you just gotta be, I don't get this. You're not doing shit out there. France, Alizé Cornet, for all that beating Serena. You're still
she has done nothing this year.
Nothing. And they got so many voucher tournaments out that you can be winning. So many. Oh, many. You beat Simona Halep.
Oh, Lordy.
And then you show up in the next round. It's almost like, I think when, you know, Connie gets one of these big wins, she just goes drinking the night and be like, oh, she gets drunk or something. Because I was just like, Connie, this is your moment. You're in Madrid. Go seize the moment, seize some points, get to at least the quarterfinals. You took care of Halep. No, she lost next round. Didn't even win a set. The second time, didn't win a set.
Got broken for the set and broken for the match.
It was just like, I don't know. These winches, I'm telling you. And this is why Serena is number one. Not because Serena is like super crazy exceptional, but because
she is super crazy.
She is not just because
absolutely.
I meant because a lot of these bit players just don't rise to the occasion. They just don't do what they need to do. And but
they can't. They just don't have the games for it.
Do you think it's because they're the juniors? There's no more juniors anymore. Basic juniors on tour. They're
juniors on tour. They're young players coming up and stuff. It's just that the mentality. Generation Next. I haven't seen that yet. Anna Konya, who has a really good game, can't seem to stay healthy. Alia Tomljanovic. It remains to be seen whether or not she can get her shit together. Donna Vekic, from whom I expected much better than what is happening now.
She's busy.
She just can't get her stuff together either. You know.
She's having some Swiss cocoa. She's having some Swiss cocoa.
Sometimes I wonder whether or not the young ladies are more interested in getting on magazine covers than making their mark on the sport.
Well, my point was that, like, in the sense that, you know, back in the day, like, I think Venus, Serena, Maria it's the last generation, basically, of players who the tour allowed them to be present. They can play matches at 14, 15, 16. And I think that environment allowed them to be mentally tough because they had to be there present from day one. Like showing up as a 14-year-old against Martina Navratilova, perhaps. I'm not saying that this is Serena, but when you're back in the day and a 14-year-old Martina Navratilova, you know you're gonna she will think nothing to bagel your ass, double bagel your ass. So you have to have a certain fight and mentality to stick in and stay in.
That is true. There's
no young women on the tour. So there will never be another young phenom. So these girls.
You would think, you know, not being able to play main draw matches until you know having the age restriction in effect, it would make them a lot more stronger mentally to deal with the rigors of the tour, and that doesn't seem to be the case.
I think it's the opposite. That since they don't get to play at that young age, they just don't develop any kind of mental toughness. They're just like, oh, I'm 18 years old. I'm fully on the tour. What am I supposed to do?
But you would think having legends such as Sharapova, Serena, Venus still around, you would think that would act as some kind of catalyst towards them. But today's players, you know, I'm looking to see maybe they'll mature. They're maturing a lot slower than back in those days. But what concerns me more than anything is the fact that they can't seem to put it together month after, not even week after week, because that's asking a lot, because that's not happening on the men's tour either. But month after month, you're not seeing it. I mean, Belinda Bencic, she makes the fourth round or the quarterfinals of a tournament this week. She gets knocked out of a Premier Mandatory in the first round. You know, she gets seeded at a Grand Slam for the first time. She loses horribly to a player who is not even on the radar of anybody right now, in Julia Kyrgios. So that concerns me. That it's the performance. It's not consistent. There's no. You get the sense that it's one step forward, 2-3 steps backward, and that can't be good for the tour, for the women's tour.
Well, we would see. I mean, hopefully Generation Next step it up. There's lots of money involved, and we'll see how that goes. But ladies and gentlemen, folks, we are at the end of our podcast. I'm sure we've got overexcited with our brand new guest, a real guest of some stature, of some prominence. Hopefully she gives us a real shout out and people check us out. This is podcast number 10. And then the final words, ladies, Rome is around the corner. Is this where we really decide predictions for the French Open?
No, I'm looking to see a lot of pullouts in Rome.
Yeah, people want to rest.
People not wearing condoms, so they gotta pull out. They gotta pull out. There is no protection.
Oh my God!
In which case, I'm calling it for Federer then.
Because we know he's not pulling out. He's working on getting his basketball squad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna doubt you, Andre. I'm not gonna doubt you. So really
please! I'm about to let my predictions go down in flames. Although I do have a feeling that Federer will have a much better run in Rome than he had in Madrid. I
hope so.
Well, it's not gonna be that
run.
You just gotta win on that.
Listen, this is how my predictions go. I think we're gonna have a surprise winner. I'll say that. A surprise winner.
But it won't be Gomez.
Listen, I'm not saying that we're gonna faint. All right, we're not going that far. Gomez is preparing to defend his semifinals at the Roland Garros. That's what Gomez is doing.
If he doesn't get back to semifinals, I think he's gonna be 100.
Oh dear Lord! But you know what? He'll still continue to be the baddest brother out there, baddest, richest boy out there. So
those fucked up teams.
Oh my God.
Andre, Janina, any what are your convictions about Rome?
I don't even know who's playing.
2 guesses. Novak Djokovic is returning for you.
Oh, great.
Your Serbian devil is gonna be back.
I am stoked.
And Andy Murray's gonna go down in flames. I'm certain of it, which will be good for him. Probably.
I think he might pull up because he's home celebrating with Kim. He's acting the shit. He's all about marriage work. So he's giving Kim the business. There's no pulling out for him. He's going on.
Dear Lord.
Is it grass season yet?
Karen, any prediction for the ladies?
I don't even know. Venus.
Oh, stop it. I love it.
Surely she can't win a match during this class.
Well, you know what? She a match. See, she not pull back. You're so mean.
Hey. She got a reprieve because Garbi and Muguruza are pulled out.
So
she has a really tough, other person, Simiakova, I saw her play the other day, and she could give Venus some trouble. Everybody could give Venus some trouble.
Thank you. I was about to say
much.
That. You know what? Thank you.
Be honest, everybody can give Venus trouble right about now.
She's got to get better.
I think Simona Halep might be the one to be here or be the interest in that role.
If Simona makes it out of the first round, I'd be surprised.
Dear Lord.
Y'all are horrible. Okay, bro. All right. This has been episode number 10. I think we'll be coming to you live and direct next week from Rome. Well, not in Rome, but talking about Rome. Just to be clear, we got no money. We need sponsorship people. We need money, and
apparently more real people.
Because we are apparently statues that speak.
Oh no! I have to say. This is episode number 10, and I don't think I said this enough on air. If people get this far. But these are just absolutely the loveliest ladies to talk tennis with. They are just the best. They're just the best. And I'm so happy
been fun, guys.
It's been fun. So thank you, folks. Hope you enjoyed Madrid. It's Mayhem. It's Anne-Marie. Madness, Mayhem, Anne-Marie in Madrid. So thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.